clean. Nobody has to die. We would know when this would happen to the minute. 2 people will die. The stupid surfer, okay? That guy's gonna die, okay? First, okay, ready for the second person? The stupid weatherman, okay? You ever see these guys? Bring the camera a little closer. You can see the waves. The people who want to get close to the hurricanes, those weather guys, that's the second person who dies. Everyone else is good to go. Let's move on. Black holes. I told you I have special access to NASA. And so this image is, in fact, the very first ever color image of a black hole here. Notice the detail on the left. You saw it here first. Of course, that's the image you want me to show you, right? That's actually 3-dimensional space squashed to 2 dimensions. But artists try to represent this, but it's a bad day if you're falling into a black hole. In fact, I have a book with that title, Death by Black Hole. And so if you want to find out about it, check it out. It's the experiment you do once in life and in death. Super duper black holes lurk in the centers of galaxies, and they beam rays out. I mean, they're destructive forces in the universe, and they're extraordinary for how much they're able to concentrate energy in a very small place. And if you fall in, you're never coming out. But everything else that tries to get in, it can't. It gets really hot, and it radiates out in these jets. So that's a black hole jets, because matter is trying to get in down the toilet bowl, and it all can't fit at the same time. And it heats up in the effort to do so. So I couldn't do this without showing you some black holes. Now, dark matter, dark energy. We don't know what dark matter is. It's 85% of the gravity of the universe is dark matter. Is something we don't know what it is. So we just call it dark matter. We don't know what. The universe has some pressure in the vacuum that's making it accelerate in its expansion against the wishes of gravity. We don't know what that is either. We call that dark energy. This sounds like we know something. We don't. I could call this Fred and Wilma, okay? It doesn't matter. We are dumb stupid about what these 2 things are, all right? Now, normally that's not a problem, like, until you look at this chart, okay? So everything we know about the universe, what we're made of, galaxies, stars, planets, that's all right here. So according to this chart, we are 96% stupid in the universe. You're happy about that, apparently. I don't know what that means, you know. Are you applauding my honesty? Are you applauding, you're celebrating the stupidity of our species? We got the Big Bang. That's been going for a while. Now, not everybody's happy with the Big Bang. You found this billboard. So apparently, God isn't happy with the Big Bang. I would have thought he'd be totally cool with it, but apparently not. I found this bumper sticker in New Mexico. The Big Bang Theory. God spoke, bang, it happens. This one is okay with the Big Bang, but that God did the Big Bang. So people are still trying to wrestle with this. Here's what we know. This is the entire universe in one slide. Quantum fluctuations, birth, an entire explosion, rapid expansion, we call it inflation. That's an idea that came about in the 1970s when there was inflation, severe inflation in our economy. So the word had a lot of currency back then. Now it's like, are you inflating a tire? Like, what are you doing, you know? There is the baby picture of the universe. That's that sort of aqua surface there. That's sort of the imprint of what happened in the very earliest moments, writ in the background sky. There it is, the cosmic microwave background. a record of the earliest moments of the Big Bang. Then it takes a little time to make your first stars. We call it the dark ages. Stars are made, galaxies mature. We come up to the present day, 13.7 billion years later. And that telescope, we can't see the whole name, it's called WMAP, Wilkinson Microwave Anisotropy Probe. They clearly didn't want anyone to pronounce that or remember it. I would just call it the Big Bang Machine. That made this measurement. And so it's a pretty coherent picture that we have of the origin of the universe. And here's that map that the space probe shown. And so this is a record of the earliest moments of the universe. And it tells us what the universe was up to. And data agree, we're all pretty happy with this, and we're kind of moving on. The Big Bang, by the way, could fit into a larger story. For example, the multiverse. Big Bang is probably not the whole story. It's probably a piece of a bigger story. So maybe there are multiple Big Bangs. This would give us the multiverse. We don't have data for this, but we have good theoretical and philosophical reasons to think that a multiverse exists. How do you even draw that? Because you need higher dimensions for it. So here are these, each of these bubbles is a universe coming in and out of existence, and we're just one of them. And who knows how many universes there would be. This is very kind of spooky looking, but these are fluctuations, quantum fluctuations in the universe that spawn entire other universes. So it's an intriguing direction. So put this word in your vocabulary and watch it show up in news accounts. It may be that the dark matter is not matter at all. It's the gravity from ordinary matter from a nearby other universe in the multiverse, whose gravitational influence we feel. And here we are, saying, ooh, we have a mysterious gravity, call it dark matter. Really, it's just ordinary matter doing its thing in an adjacent universe. So a multiverse can give you some predictive power, but it's really out there right now, and so we need to give it some room to mature. Now, let's take a look at what the rest of the world is doing with science. So, CERN. This is the European Center for Nuclear Research, which I think if you say it in French, comes out in that order, okay? I had a friend I was at a dinner party, and the person next to me was French, and I tried to get practice pronouncing French words. And so I learned one thing that whole evening, that in French, all letters are silent, okay? Period. That's it. Every letter in French is silent, right? Start there, and then you do very well, right? So, CERN, this is where they have the famous Large Hadron Collider. This is like they're at the limits. It is the highest energy ever attained on Earth. And by the way, we would have done 3 times this energy had Congress not cut the funding for the superconducting supercollider that would have been built in Texas. That was cut back in the early 90s, right around just after peace broke out in Europe, by the way. Physicists are only really useful when we're at war, according to government funding patterns. So they're looking for the Higgs boson and anything else that shows up on the docket. The Higgs is a particle that gives mass to other particles. So it's kind of cool. Some people have called it the God particle, and including physicists. What are they doing over in China? Well, they're building the largest dam in the world, the Three Gorges Dam, and they have a burgeoning aerospace industry growing at 14% a year, 13% a year. The economy is growing at 10% a year. By the way, what's your interest rate you're getting on your savings account in your bank? 0.003. Okay. Did you get that over here? These get, well, if you go to this other bank, you get 0.005, Yeah, so other countries, different things are happening. Do you know that in Russia, they want to actually send a mission to deflect Apophis? They actually are prepared to fund that. That picture that I drew and did my little dance, that's not funded. That's just ideas on a page. Russia actually wants to fund it. And they invited us to participate. And I said, well, sure. But then I thought about it,